So that wave of green candles that we saw for the past 3-4 days, well, now it's over. We saw a fairly big movement in the crypto market, but not only in the crypto market. We saw that movement coming before the crypto market from stock and traditional markets. So everything from fiat currencies to the dollar to oil prices and the stock market, they have been affected. But what is affecting them? Well, the main reason are the Trump tariffs that are going to start, and they're going to take effect now on April 2nd. So if you are not aware, Trump wants to tax everything that comes from outside inside of the US, and also tariffs for export. So import and export are going to be taxed by the US government, which is good if you are the US government because you're going to be getting more money, but it is not really good for the overall global economy. And they're showing even in the American stock market, NASDAQ, Dow Jones, everything is reflecting in the market. So the combined crypto market cap has dropped 2.6% in the last 24 hours. The S&P 500 dropped 0.33% in the last 24 hours. The Dow Jones index is down 0.37, and Canada and Mexico, they are going to be retaliating in these tariffs. So everything that is coming from the US to these countries, they're going to be taxed as well. If you are an American and you're one of the guys thinking, well, the tax is not going to come out of my money, that tariff is not for me, the tariff is for importers, exporters, not me, I'm just a consumer. Sorry to say that, but you are fairly dumb, because at the end of the day, these businesses, these companies, they're going to adjust the price itself, or the price will just suffer automatically because some things that they used to import or part of their revenue will be affected. The price of these things will be affected, and you, the consumer, will be the one losing on it at the end of the day. We're starting to see that with eggs. We're starting to see that with cars. Cars are going to be a huge deal in the United States because, for example, Toyota, Honda, they are huge in the American market. But now Japan, for example, is going to be taxed. Everything that is built in Mexico and Canada, guess what? Even Ford has some factories, has some work. Some of these cars are produced elsewhere and then imported into the US. And if you think these tariffs are a good thing, I advise you to rethink, not even looking at the political bubble, just the economical bubble on how these tariffs affect the market. And they are affecting the market. We can see it is not only the stock market, it is things that affect your daily life, from everything you consume to everything you watch, from everything you do. So that goes from gas prices all the way to rent prices and housing prices. So that being said, crypto is suffering a lot. And we can see that by looking right here at the crypto market. Let's start with Bitcoin. And Bitcoin has actually plummeted, which was around that 87,000. Now it is back at the 85,300 more or less. And Bitcoin is not the only one. We can see Bitcoin is at 85,268. Ethereum below the 2,000 once again. What a shock, what a shame, you know? So 1895. XRP at 221, BNB at 629, Solana is at 131. So what should you expect? Now we switch to the 4-hour charts. If you remember all the videos that we do here, I usually keep that on the daily. So now I switched that to the 4-hour charts because I wanted to show you that for Bitcoin, we have to keep an eye here on the $84,000. So the low $84,000, because as you can see, this is holding a very strong line right here. So we could be bouncing off of this support. For Ethereum, if you switch right here, just a little bit below the current price that we are. So the 1850s to 1870s, this is the price to keep an eye on for Ethereum. And guess what? We are looking like we're going to touch it for sure, like we did in this past 4-hour candle. We have a wick right here, but we went into oversold territory. So most likely we're going to slow down unless any other chaotic news comes out. And then for Solana, that number is around the 127, which we already saw here this year for quite a few weeks now. So the 127 for Solana, the 1850s, 1870s for Ethereum, and the 84,000 for Bitcoin. These are the numbers that you should keep in mind if you're trying to DCA or if you're trying to buy in. But if you're trying to exit, well, this is the number that you have to look into if you want to close, you know, take the loss, or if you want to just DCA, whatever you want to do. These are the target prices that you should keep an eye as a support level right now. That being said, if you're still bleeding money, well, Bitopics is for you. Here, it is a hands-off approach where we do the trading for you for a small commission. And guess what? We have been killing it. So far for the month of March, we are at 2.95%, February being at 3.63%, and January at 5.15%. Well, you might be thinking, That's too little. I see people doing 100% each and every day. Guess what? This is a stablecoin strategy. So imagine doing that on your dollar. So imagine your dollar, you go to the bank and you want to deposit that, and you're going to have a 100% yield on that dollar. That is unheard of. And here we're doing that because we're using USDC and USDT, and we are trading spreads with them. So it is a stablecoin strategy, but we are using the power of options. So if you want to learn more, we have plenty of videos here on the topics where we talk about these options. And just a little spoiler, soon enough, we're going to have a little bit of a course for you, like a webinar, like an academy for you to join and learn options with us and trade with the topics. So if you're out of the market, I'd just advise you to wait out for the Trump tariffs, wait to see how that will affect the market. My personal opinion, it will be disastrous. I think that will last maybe like a quarter or two, and then they're gonna have to adjust that, settle back, because for sure that will bleed a lot of pockets. So that is my opinion. I think we're about to see some huge movement in the markets. That is my opinion. On the upside, on downside, personally, I think on the downside, because tariffs are never a good thing and they tend to hurt the overall consumer at the end of the day. They may benefit some, but they hurt most of the people. So let's keep an eye April 2nd, and then we're gonna check out again to see what could be the best thing that we can do with our money and with our crypto. So thank you very much for watching. I'll catch you guys on Monday for another video. So I hope you have a great weekend. Take care. Peace.